Chapter 8, Section 4 of the Fafsa. Section 4 of the Fafsa covers all of the aspects of your parents' information. This section should be filled out with your parents since it is in purple on the printed form. If for some reason you are not with both of your birth parents, enter in at least one birth parent's information. If you do not know your birth parents and have been legally adopted, just enter in your adopted parents' information. If in the off chance you do not know anything about your parents and you do not have a legal guardian, simply leave this section blank. However, your college will ask you for more information later on to explain why you may have left this section blank. Be prepared to answer those questions in person or over the phone. Okay, let's jump into the questions. Are your parents watching with you? If not, go get them. Question 58. Are your parents married, single, divorced, or widowed? If your parents are a same-sex couple in a marriage, please enter in single, since the federal government does not recognize same-sex marriages at the moment. Question 59. This is simply asking when they were married or divorced, etc. Just a month and a year is needed. Questions 60 through 67. You will need your father's and your mother's Social Security number and name here. The name on the Social Security card must be the same as the one you enter in here. If your parents do not have a Social Security card, they should apply for one with the Social Security Administration. You can find a link on fafsaloanhelp.com. Question 68. Enter in your parents' email address. If for some odd reason your parents are still living in the Stone Age and don't have an email address, set one up on gmail.com for free. Make sure to show them how to use it. Question 69. Where does your parent claim their primary residence? Question 70. Did they start living in this state before 2006? Question 71. Just asking when they started living there. Question 72. This is asking you to total up how many people live at your parents' house legally. This could include parents, kids, grandparents, and any other relatives that live there full-time. Your parents must provide half of their support for them to be featured in this total. Question 73. During the 2011 to 2012 time span, how many people will be in college at the same time? If it is just you, enter in 1. If it is you and your brother or sister, enter in 2. Question 74 through 78 is asking if your parents or anyone in your parents' household have received any types of these aid. Remember, in some states, food stamps may have different names. Question 79. This question is asking if your parents have already completed their previous year's tax return, in this case, 2010. Question 80. This is just asking what form your parents used when filing. If you're not sure, you can ask your parents' accountant or have them check the online software that they may have used. Question 81. Your parents would be eligible to file Form 1040A if they had earned less than $100,000. Now, even if they are eligible to fill out this form, they may have filled out a different form. Question 82. A dislocated worker is a person who may have been laid off or lost their job and is collecting unemployment benefits. If your parent has quit their job, they are usually not considered to be a dislocated worker. Answer yes if they've been laid off or lost their job. Going into the next series of questions, you will need your parents' tax return forms. Make sure you have those ready. This area is very similar to Section 2 you filled out earlier for yourself. However, if you have questions, just go to fafsaloanhelp.com and get answers for free there. Question 83. On Question 83, it is asking for your parents' adjusted gross income. Now, if you live with your mom and stepfather, please include your stepfather's income here. The form will show you which fields to look at on their tax returns to get the right value. Question 84. This is asking how much your parents paid in income tax in 2010. Make sure to use your parents' most recent tax form. If they filed an extension or supplemental information, use the data from that tax return, since that will be the most accurate. Question 85. This question focuses on the various exemptions your parents may have claimed. It is not super important that you know about each exemption, but you do need to know about the total they entered in their tax return. Question 86 and 87. These two questions are focused on figuring out your parents' total earned income for 2010. This value may come from their W-2 form. For these fields, you will enter in the gross income they earn, so before taxes. Question 88. This question simply asks how much your parents have in their bank accounts and/or cash. Just total that up and enter in the value. Question 89. This question can be a bit tricky sometimes since your parents may have many investments. To get an accurate value quickly, you can either contact their accountant or you can just total up the estimated value on paper. Take into account any properties they might own outside of the home you live in and any stocks they may own. For a full list of things to include, go to fafsaloanhelp.com. Question 90. Yet another tricky field. It is sometimes hard to value a business. The easiest way to do this is to contact their business accountant. Most small businesses will have an accountant to talk to. Question 91 and 92 deal with other types of income that your parents may have received in the last year. A lot of this info will come from their tax returns, so make sure you have that handy. Question 91A. Did your parents receive any education credits during the last year? These would have been declared on their tax forms. Question 91B. Were either of your parents paying child support to kids not living at their house? Enter in that value here. Question 91C. Did either of your parents earn money from working at a school while they were studying at the school? This only applies to need-based income. If they were a professor and studying at the same time, most likely this doesn't qualify. If they didn't earn anything, just enter 0. Question 91D. Did either of your parents get scholarship money or student grants in the last year? What was the value of those? If not, put a 0 in the field. Question 91E. If either of your parents were in the military, did they receive combat pay? If they were not in the military, just enter 0. Question 91F. Did your parents participate in a college-sponsored co-op program? Very similar to a work-study program. If not, just enter 0. Question 92A. This question focuses on how much your parents contributed to their retirement pension or 401k in the past year only. Do not include the total value of their retirement fund. If they didn't make any contributions to a retirement plan, just enter 0. Please remember these contributions must be to a tax-deferred retirement plan. So if they put aside some money after they got paid and it was already taxed, this does not count. Question 92B. This is very similar to 92A, but focuses on different types of accounts, like an IRA or a co-plan. If they didn't have these, simply enter 0. Question 92C. Did either of your parents receive child support during the past year? If so, just include that value here. Question 92D. This is interest income your parents may have earned, and it is somehow tax exempt. It is shown on their tax forms. Question 92E. If they somehow took out money from their IRA and they were not taxed, just include the amount that they took out from their IRA in the past year. This is usually pretty rare, and if they didn't take anything out, put a 0 in the field. Question 92F. This is asking pretty much the same thing as 92E, but it is related to money that might have been taken out of a pension account and not taxed. Question 92G. If your parents were clergy members or part of the military, did they receive housing or food allowances in the past year? If so, just enter in that total value. Question 92H. In this field, you are going to total up how much your parents might have made if they were a veteran receiving payments. Some of the most common payments as a veteran are disability payments or a death pension benefit. If you are not sure about what some of these terms are, simply check on fafsaloanhelp.com. Question 92I. This is a catch-all question for anything that wasn't added up earlier. Simply use the tax form your parents submitted as a reference. If you need more guidance about what should not be included here, check out fafsaloanhelp.com. Some of the most common things not to include are student aid, welfare, untaxed Social Security benefits, combat pay, etc. Awesome work! We are almost done. Now we're at the end of step 4. Once again, it's a good time to go back and check your answers and make sure you didn't make any mistakes or skip any really important questions.